He's just standing there.
Guess what, motherfucker?
The elephant disappeared.
Damn!
So now that we've gotten to a certain level with Necromancer, we're able to basically, as you can see, one-shot, two-shot most enemies. That's even elites as well as regular NPCs, just, you know, little big guys that walk up. And the problem is a lot of people are just showing the Paragon board and what you need for your skills and things like that, but not showing you the actual builds and how they work, what makes you be able to do this type of damage. And keep certain things in line, you know, lock them up to where you can easily outmaneuver them, get good damage out of your build, and so on. So we're going to break all that down that they're missing.
What did he say?
So just like the Division, certain things work well with other pieces. So you have to find certain pieces that allow you to do this. Now, different ones will allow you. As you can see, we have some imprinted stuff on here, summoning skills, things like that, that actually help your builds out. This is where you can actually put certain stuff onto them and keep yourself alive better. And this is where it becomes player's choice. Because for me, I've found that bone skills allow you to get more vulnerable damage, which allows you to get more damage out. So having these types of things on here that help out, like bone prison, consuming corpses to give yourself more damage. It gives you a blood orb. It helps you get some more survivability. Things like that. And like this one here, even though it was working prior, you have to check and make sure that you don't have two of each of these on here, so that way you're not wasting a talent. Things like this continuously change throughout the game. So having these pieces that help out with bone, which gives you vulnerable, which actually allows you to do more damage, is more vital on certain builds. Now, some people will say certain things work better. I've found that vulnerable and keeping them vulnerable actually gives you the most damage and the faster kill times. Now, as for the crit chance and critical hit damage, it's similar to just like Division. You know, the more crit chance you have, the better you crit, the more damage you get out. So having that on there is just the same. So basically, Necromancer, the way I have mine set up, and you can go back and slow this down and take a look at some of the stuff I have on here, it allows you to have that high crit chance, the high critical hit damage, the vulnerable damage, so that way you're able to kill them a lot faster. Basically, if you think about it in Division terms, as well as over here on Diablo, this basically turns you into a walking glass cannon. But the cool part is, you saw at the very beginning of this video, I was standing right next to a boss and I wasn't taking any damage. Because like here, these specific ones allow you to keep them vulnerable, which actually allows you to keep yourself alive, which is why we're also using the corpse explosion. Now, the corpse explosion gives me back life and keeps me alive as long as something's inside that area. But having your mages, just like these guys right here, though they can form an extra corpse, we don't need that. You can put this on to put more corpses on the ground so you can get more damage out. The same with these guys right here. As you see, these ones right here, the cold, allow you to keep them vulnerable after they've been frozen. That's another core piece that you want to choose. Now, the cool part about Diablo versus Division is you can actually make anything work as long as you work towards what you are using. And that's why everybody keeps saying, well, this is the best, this is the best. It's actually not the best. Certain things in this game can actually make you feel best, but they're not giving out the most damage. Now, for Necromancer, the bone is giving out the most damage and the critical and keeping them vulnerable. So even if you have a teammate nearby who's helping you out, that's going to give you that kind of stuff. The same with the skeletal mages. This one here, it keeps them vulnerable. As for my golems, right here, this one here just gives them a little bit more max life, but it also drops corpses. So when those guys die, they drop a corpse. This guy right here, as he does damage, they get a corpse. So, again, now, when we come down here to the tree, you can do two of whatever you want. I went with these two because it's bone just in case. Now, as we come over here to the tree to get the damage out, as you see, I'm 9 out of 5. Because of the stuff I have on my build, it actually gives me an extra 4. So right now we're also getting more essence, which we don't need this for your core skills, even though this would help. It would give us a little bit more damage, but you can see it's 5%. So if I take one of these off, which is like over here, you see how we get this extra damage for these and we keep them vulnerable. If I take one out of that 9.5, it actually gives me 8% more. So dropping that to get 5% is not more valuable. Hewed flesh, so as they do damage, they have a chance to drop a corpse. That's for your little guys. Corpse explosion, as you're doing damage, and it considers it shadow damage. So this here allows you to get that extra damage out. As you see, we're 5 out of 5. Now, corpse explosion, increase the radius. It's pretty self-explanatory. As you do this right here, it also increases to a darkness skill. So darkness skills, I have a piece on here where as you do darkness skills, it actually gives you a chance to heal while you're next to your darkness skill or inside of a darkness skill. Consuming a corpse generates 6% essence. That's where we use the explosive from this corpse explosion. So as we blow those things up, we do damage, but we also get essence back, so we can do more bone spears. Bone prison. This one here actually allows you to lock in some of those characters that aren't like teleporters or those that can fly. Doing this right here can actually save you and put in most of these doorways or hallways in certain like dungeons. You can lock it up and prevent them from coming at you for a period of time. So that is a good way to kind of lock them in and get more damage out. Let your guys just help shoot them. As you can see, we're not worried about base life or anything. We're just trying to go for the damage. Fueled by death, increased damage for 6 seconds after consuming a corpse. So this gives you more damage at the same time, while consuming a corpse to get more stuff to throw out, more specialty type weapons, you could say. Increase the damage of your lives for skeletal angels. Close death and embrace. You get more damage as you're close to your targets. Bone skills, everything. There wasn't really very much over here, but as you can do, you can even switch some of this stuff out. Like if you don't want this 9.5 or 9 out of 5, you can take some of that and put it elsewhere. Like I have 2 out of 3, I can increase these 2. Now I'll lose damage on my bone spear, but I gain a little bit extra on the damage for 5 more seconds. So that's not good, but you can do it if you want to. I wouldn't suggest it. Just try to keep everything you can for bone spear, because you see we just dropped, was it 8%? So we go 145 versus 153. So yeah, we lose 8% damage by doing so. To gain what, 5 down there? So best thing to do is just keep it at 9 out of 5. Now, the last piece I have is Bone Storm on here selected because that actually can take more damage to players. Now, as you can see, we do not have anything for extra bone damage, even though we have all that extra bone stuff on. The reason why is because the bones are already doing so much damage that we want to give an extra bit to our skeletal explosions. So that skeletal explosion, which is right here, it's very low. It's only 5 out of 5 versus the other one is 9 out of 5. So we put this extra piece on there to give it some more damage for that. Now you see, I don't even have my Paragon boards completely maxed out, but everything I went for is to give these kinds of things. For instance, the exploit one, I'm stacking this one up. So as long as they're vulnerable, we get more damage for up to 6 seconds. This is where this can come in clutch at certain points. All these little blue nodes that you can see right here, that's what we have into them. I just have this one because it's more damage to elites for the Slayer. And then as you can see, we're working our way up and our way up to this one right here, so we can get more crit chance with our bone skills. And then we'll eventually get to this spot right here, which increases your maximum essence. And then we'll probably branch out this way or that way, either one. But you see, it's not a perfect board for what some people say, but it works and it slays.